not fuck this up.
Good luck.
And we're back. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of I Can Do This All Day. I'm Dan, the part-time Avenger. With me is Mark, the resident Jedi.
Hello there. We were just really excited, and we couldn't wait until the movie actually came out. So we are currently going to record a pre-Guardians 3 episode to be released after Guardians 3 comes out so that we can go see Guardians 3 and then talk about it. But there's so much to talk about beforehand. We just couldn't wait. We're impatient.
It's a lot, right? Because it's been some time since we've hung out with the Guardians.
I mean, not really. It's been since Christmas. There's a lot of content there.
It's a long time ago, though. It's a long time ago.
I mean, it's April, so.
Yeah, but you're talking about May. Yeah, Justin Timberlake would love to chime in right now. So, but yeah, so I just started rewatching Guardians 2 tonight over dinner, and sorry, what are you talking about? It's the best Guardians movie out of all of them. But I don't know. So I kind of want to just go off of, what do you remember about the Guardians, and kind of just, it's always fun to think about what we think we know and what we recall. And I think that I can recite a majority of the Marvel movies, but I'm getting to that age, man. I don't remember everything to the best accuracy that I think I do. So what do you recall from the Guardians movies, along with the special presentation, the status of the Guardians roster?
So I remember the first one, right? The first one sticks out because it was awesome. It was unexpected. It was a bunch of characters you didn't expect to see, and it just it blew up in a way that I didn't expect it to, right? I didn't expect the guy from Parks and Rec to absolutely nail this. I didn't expect it to be that funny from him, right? I mean, Chris Pratt's funny, but this was like Chris Pratt into movie star status, right? You knew that there were going to be great performances from some of the people that came to the table, right? I can only imagine, thinking about what Bradley Cooper would do voice acting, because he's such a psycho when it comes to method, right? And you knew that the Gamora character would be solid, because I mean, talk about an actress that is just flawless in everything. And I don't care that she's in everything, because she's amazing. And then you had some question marks, right? Like, what is Vin Diesel going to do with this character? Vin Diesel, not somebody I'm like, that's a guy I want to be a voice actor. Right. Even though I'm all about family. And Dave Bautista, like, nobody knew.
Yeah, I thought that movie was going to be a failure. The first one was just going to be like, well, we had a good run, Marvel.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be the Eternals. It just took a while for them to get there. Big star-studded cast again with the Eternals, but not the Guardians. And I think I know the secret, Dan. It's the same secret that worked in the 90s that worked again. It was the Powerhouse movie soundtrack. In the days that we bought Armageddon on Godzilla, everybody went out and bought or downloaded the Guardians soundtrack. Oh, so great. I mean, so many great positive things from that first movie that just made you excited to see those characters other places.
So, question for you. What had the better soundtrack, Volume 1 or Volume 2?
I got to go with Volume 1.
Agreed.
I got to.
Hit for hit, 1 definitely had the best soundtrack. I mean, I went to Comic-Con that summer after the movie came out, and that was playing at like every single booth. They were all playing the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. When I went to go get John Cena's autograph for the photo op, they were playing the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
There weren't trumpets?
Well, I couldn't see him, So the only way that they could make that happen is just point us in the right direction and
Oh,
just say that he was next to us. So
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, yeah, no, I think that I mean, when you really get into this soundtrack, and this is one where they released two, right? They released a like a an awesome mix volume one, and then they gave you a little extra. You haven't seen that since like The Wedding Singer,
oh, I didn't
right?
even know they did that.
Yeah, they released a another that added a few extra tracks and then gave
Huh.
you a lot of the orchestral stuff. But just that mixtape. I mean, how do you get away from Hooked on a Feeling? Ah, I Want You Back, Come and Get Your Love.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'd never heard of that song, the "Come and Get Your Love" song, until this movie. And what a fantastic job of bringing this song back. And for me, just a first time listen.
Where were you with the Redbone, bro?
Never heard of them.
Oh,
Never heard of Redbone
dude.
ever until Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, had
I'd
you
heard
heard
of
of Rupert
everything else.
Holmes? Had you heard of Rupert Holmes, or did you think that
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett sang the Pina Colada song?
No, I knew who that was. And plus that was, or wait, no, I was thinking something else. I've heard of him. Yeah. But other than that, I have no idea what else he's done. I just know that song.
Nothing really. Rupert Holmes has one claim to fame, and Jimmy Buffett keeps singing it.
Jimmy Buffett on record, overrated.
Have you ever been to a Jimmy Buffett concert?
No, but I bussed tables at a restaurant that served a bunch of people that were going to the Jimmy Buffett concert or came back from the Jimmy Buffett concert. And God damn it, I hate Jimmy Buffett just because of that.
No, man. This is one thing I gotta tell you. There is no better orchestrated tailgate than a Jimmy Buffett tailgate.
I'm sure there isn't.
I'm just,
and you know what? Doesn't make me hard. Not one bit.
Not the best concert ever, but damn, the whole experience is definitely something. The guy gives an experience. He's not the boss. He's not Springsteen, but
for the score, so Tyler Bates also has done the John Wick soundtracks. I mean, he's done a lot of different movies, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but just a solid score and solid musical performance from the orchestral side, along with the popular music side.
But I mean, the popular music just dominated this.
Oh yeah, for
dominated
sure.
it so much so that I think they got a little too excited for volume 2. And I think that's
Really,
one of the things that it got away from me.
I think they just prematurely just blew it all over when they went to Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and it was just old 97s all the time throughout the entire 50 minutes.
But old 97s doing covers and original songs, I didn't mind that. The old 97s are a jamming band.
That Christmas song is a new favorite in the household.
Absolutely.
It's fun. Very fun.
Absolutely. In the rotation.
Yeah. But I feel like, you know, what I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit concerned about 3 as to what type of music they will play.
Oh, the soundtracks, the playlist is out there.
Oh, is it? I'm trying to go into the next movie so spoiler free.
So I'll tell you this, and the listeners are gonna be so pissed off, right? I've watched 0 trailers, and they're gonna be like, how are you talking about this movie and giving us a lead up by not watching any trailers? And it's because we want to be spoiler free, bitches. So shut up. But I wanted to listen to the music. The music is the only thing I got, right? The only thing I was like, I want that. I was just in a mood one day. I was like, you know what? I could use some upbeat James Gunn selected soundtracks. So I found an article that just listed the songs. I threw them into a playlist on Spotify, and I love it. It's just catchy as shit, and it's right there, and I'm happy about it. Like, do you want to know tracks, or are you just like, don't, Mark, shut your mouth?
No, I don't want to know anything, because I know that there are some things that could be potential spoilers based off
I
of the
I don't
music?
think there's spoilers. At least from my end with it, I don't see any spoilers, but I'm going to tell you that there's songs from like our teen years as well as old songs. And I mean it is so solid. It is so solid. There's a few back ones. The boss is on there.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, you're not happy about Springsteen. Um, but yeah, there's some contemporary music as well as some old school stuff, and I think the mix is gonna be, mwah, chef's kiss,
Okay.
chef's
All
kiss.
right. Well, going into this movie, so do you remember who's just left from the Guardians and where we're all at with all those people?
So I'm of the understanding that we're all up except in the search for Gamora.
Yes. So anything else about that do you remember or no?
That it's not actual Gamora. It's like Gamora from a different reality Gamora or a different time Gamora, which doesn't make sense why she's alive after the I Am Iron Man and all the rest of them went away, but Gamora didn't. It's kind of a big plot hole.
Nah, I mean she fought with them. So Stark could have just been like the glove is just intuitive, or the stones are just intuitive as to
It's
like,
the AI built into it was
yeah,
Jarvis, really. No.
AI is taking over the world. So I don't
That,
see why
that's
you're,
that's that's you don't talk bad of AI. It's
yeah.
gonna fucking get you. You're gonna have this implant from those headphones, and you're gonna be the Borg. Resistance is futile.
So you got all of the Guardians members with the exception of Nebula and Rocket, who were dusted. So it'll be an interesting dynamic as to how they all mesh together. And granted, they were off on their little adventure with Thor, but I wonder if they go into that, if they talk about, you know, hey, we've been gone for a long time, and they talk about this in one of the trailers, or it's a voiceover for Chris Pratt in one of the trailers.
I thought you were spoiler free.
Spoiler free in the sense that not reading articles or any other trailers, with the exception of
Oh,
the
I'm
first one.
trailer free, baby.
Hmm.
Except
That's
the one that was in the theater, and I didn't even pay attention.
well, that's a bold choice on your
I
part,
do what I can, Cotton.
but see if it pays off. Um, but yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to talk about that, because I want to know how Quill kind of tapes this team back up together, and is it just going to be like, oh, it's been a few years, so they've all kind of meshed and it's fine, or is it going to be like, Drax keeps on asking Rocket, like, wait, there was a purple man, and he like, I know he knows who Thanos is, but he is just so literal, and Rocket's just getting sick and tired of him talking about like, yeah, there were whales swimming in the Hudson and everything. All right, that's it. So just
You think
I
you
don't
think
know.
Rocket knows
I
what the
want to hear
Hudson
about
is?
that stuff. Say it again.
You think Rocket knows what the Hudson is?
Well, he was on Earth more so than than 5 years of dusted people. But yeah, I don't know. So who's obviously being built up and is really enjoying her stardom is Karen Gillan as Nebula. I think she's just gonna have like a huge part in this movie, in the sense that she'll be the female forefront. I don't know if Gamora is going to be in it that much.
So first of all, do not marginalize Karen Gillan.
How I just said she's
You
like
just said
awesome.
she's enjoying her stardom. Like she wasn't a huge fucking name when she came in.
She wasn't a huge fucking name when she
She
came
was
in.
in Doctor Who.
Yeah, but no one watched that shit.
Oh, now you got all the fucking YouTubers now. All the angry fanboys are gonna come at us because you just marginalized
When
Doctor Who.
when you ask them who Doctor Who is, the number one pick isn't going to be Karen Gillan. It's going to be Purple Man from Jessica Jones. I can't remember his name. That's going to be the number one pick, and it's going to be Matt Smith. Those are going to be the two people maybe some other ones that I don't know about because I don't watch Doctor Who, but those would be the two that are mentioned first.
I'm just gonna let you go there, and just don't forget to comment about Dan and at him in all of these comments about his disrespect of Doctor Who.
I will wait for that because not once has that happened yet. So continue to ask Mark. No one will answer.
I mean, somebody's got to listen first, right?
They listen. They mostly disagree with you, but
I mean, story of my life. Story of my life.
But yeah, no, I mean, Karen Gillan is not like, she's definitely big now, and mostly because of Marvel, Jumanji, and a few other roles that she got after Marvel. Not necessarily saying that it's all just due to Marvel and Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but yeah, I mean, she was really solid in the Guardians movies, and then she came out with a few other ones. Gunpowder Milkshake was a really fun flick. That's on Netflix if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, she's awesome, and she seems like she just really enjoys the character. I mean, shit, she even sounded awesome as Nebula on the What If series. So yeah, put her in everything. I will just watch her in everything, no matter what.
I agree. Maybe you should watch Doctor Who. So this movie is everything that I've seen about it, and I'm trying to stay again spoiler free, but there's all of this foreboding about, you know, like what's going to happen and who's going to do what. I get there, but I'm more interested in the villains. Like, who are they bringing in for this? They teased Adam Warlock in Guardians 2. Why he wasn't in the Infinity series, which completely deviated from the comics? Like, are they going to bring the Golden Boy in, or what's up?
Yes. If you watch a trailer, yes.
I did not.
He's there.
I did not.
I know. No, and that's, you know what, man, that takes a lot to not watch a trailer. Like, so I applaud you, but at the same time, I'm almost thinking like, what the fuck? Why don't you watch the trailer so you get at least some of the preview as to what's going to happen in this movie?
I want to. Every time I go in and watch a trailer, I like jump into this rabbit hole of consume more.
Yeah, I get you.
And I totally. I'll tell you this: when I got into the first of the sequel trilogy, right, The Force Awakens, I got so into the rabbit hole that I knew everything that was going to happen in that movie. Like, knew Han Solo was going to die, the whole thing, and I was just like, "Oh, this it's still amazing," but it was still amazing at the time because it was the first Star Wars movie I'd seen in a theater since, you know, like forever. And I saw it with an opening day audience, so that just made it so much better. But it was great, and I still got all of the cheers and happy feelings. But it was just, it left you with like, I wasn't surprised. So I'm just letting this surprise me.
Okay. Right? Well, that's good, man. Like I said, I wish I could do that. I need to at least see the first trailer, at least. But yeah, you're right. You go down that rabbit hole, then you see on the set photos, and someone leaks a toy that spoils everything, and yeah. So I understand.
For movies that I don't like, that don't have credibility or that don't own credibility in my mind, I'll watch trailers, right? I wasn't excited about the Eternals. This is why I didn't go see it in the theater. I watched, you know, it wasn't excited about a lot of stuff. But like Guardians movie, no doubt. Let's go. Let's use some babysitting capital. Let's make this happen.
The villains. So you didn't know about Adam Warlock, which in the comics, he's actually a good guy. So it's weird how that kind of goes back and forth.
He flip-flopped in the comics though. Like he started as a bad guy and then joined the against Thanos. Which again, there's no Thanos. So like him and the Celestials that was it.
this is not spoilers in the sense that it's in a trailer, so I'm just gonna tell
Okay,
you.
go ahead, buddy.
But the High Evolutionary, do you know who that is?
No.
That is the villain, and from what I gather, he is the one that created Rocket.
Oh,
So that was in interviews before or after 2 came out, before the whole him being fired debacle happened. He was talking about how he was going to bring it back to how pretty much everyone has a closed loop after 2 or the upcoming Avengers movies, that they're going to end up going back to where Rocket came from. And that's going to be the closing of his loop, because everyone else is pretty much set. You know, Gamora, you know, Drax, Quill, Mantis, their whole thing. But the one character you don't really know a whole lot about is Rocket. So that's where they're going to go to in this movie. At least that's what that previous interview with James Gunn stated.
yeah.
So he's in the trailer, and there's some other little woodland critters that are also in the trailer that I'm assuming the High Evolutionary had his hand in. But yeah, so those are the 2 that I know of. I just took a look on a cast list, and I was surprised by some of the faces that were on there. So I instantly just shut it off because I didn't want to read anyone else that's in the movie.
See, I should just not talk to you about things, because now I want to look at things. And I
You
have
should.
to not. And I have to not.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got just maybe a week until you see it, right? A little
Yeah,
less than a week.
boot.
It'll come sooner than you think.
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, for the villains, I don't know. I really don't know what type of threat should happen for the Guardians to interfere with anything. Obviously, some type of inner space war is always an easy way out, right? But I don't know. You always know, like for the Avengers, like, oh, well, there's an army in New York because it's in the fucking trailer. You're fighting a bunch of Ultron bots because it's in the fucking trailer. But I don't know why they're going to fight the High Evolutionary, other than, I swear to God, if this is the reason, I'm going to be kind of upset. But the High Evolutionary is just going to be like, I want to evolve everyone. And that includes you. But the only way for me to evolve you is to kill you and start from scratch and then have my own creations. If that's what the plot is, I'm out.
I think that you touched on what a lot of major plot points or drivers are going to be in this movie. Is people are going to think about their own humanity because they were blipped and then they're back. Remember, because it was everywhere. That's been so present in every goddamn Marvel movie since Endgame. And I think you mentioned it, right? There's going to be some internal issues and having to come back from the Asgardians of the galaxy, and
which I want. That's what I want. That's cool with me. I don't know if we'll get a whole lot of it, but that's what I would like.
I there has not been a villain that's blown my skirt up since Thanos. Like, I get the Kang thing, right? I understand it. I feel like they're just stretching that taffy way too taut for me. Yeah.
So
I need something.
Namor didn't do it for you? He was awesome. The best part about that shitty movie.
Angela Bassett was the best part about that shitty movie. Fucking boss.
It's a good,
and I loved the Chadwick tie off at the end. All right. Like, that movie was great. And Namor was great, but Namor isn't an Avengers level threat. There's nothing Kang. I don't feel Kang looming. You know what I mean? I just don't.
You didn't feel that for Thanos either.
You saw him in almost every post-credit scene as the reason and the push behind it.
But if you didn't know who he was, you didn't think that guy could kick anybody's ass.
But I knew who he was, and I knew he could kick everybody's ass.
That's the same thing for like Kang, though. You get to see him, and he kicks everyone's ass, and you get to see a whole metric shit ton of them.
He hasn't kicked America's ass because that guy bowed out. Hoping he comes back as the Human Torch in this movie. Or
In
any
Guardians,
movie.
or
At any movie. Every single time. I'm like, can there be some Evans in this movie, please?
we'll see. We will see.
I mean, we
But
won't see, let's be honest, but that's okay.
he's leaving the door open. He's leaving the door open. But
To play the Human Torch, not Captain America.
so you don't know who the High Evolutionary is?
I am not, dude. It's been a minute since I've read those comics.
I didn't know him until I bought a Marvel Legends character for my son of him. So I couldn't take it from him for the podcast. Otherwise, I'd hold it up right here. But yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen for the villains. So I don't really care about the villain per se. I'm just curious as to how James Gunn is going to tie this up.
Yeah, and I think that I don't like the finality that comes to these characters because Gunn's done. Like 100% done. Not coming back because he basically runs Gimbals now. Macy's isn't bringing him back. So all of these actors only came back for him. You know, I think that, to your point, Karen Gillan would come back for other movies, but I don't know if anybody else would. Like, how annoyed is Bradley Cooper with his life that he's got to do this? Right? I've heard that Vin Diesel like tries to outsource. Yeah, Dave Bautista last time, and they gave him a vest. Right? I think he's got the vest for most of this movie because he's just done with the makeup. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they don't just kill them all, but there's definitely like sentiment towards it.
Well, so what are your predictions for this movie? I think we talked a little bit about it. We talked about what we know, what we don't know. But do you have predictions on who's going to die? You're always a person to say like someone's going to die in every movie. So
here's my prediction. Pain. That's my prediction. I feel like there's going to be some tear jerk moments in this movie because we are very attached to these characters as a collective audience, right? Not just you and I, but everybody. And I think that this will be as emotionally impactful as the end of Black Panther, as the Aunt May scene in Spider-Man. Like, I think that we're going to get that level of emotional kickback from this movie that I haven't felt in a lot of Marvel movies and a lot of Marvel content. Like, it's been a minute since I've been like, oh, right? It's been a minute. And I talked about the 2 times since, and the last time before that was the opening scene of Endgame.
It's interesting that you say that. Like, for those emotional tearjerker scenes, I would say there have been more emotional tearjerker scenes in the Marvel movies than I can remember in like the past 5 years. Like, legitimately, you got Endgame that had, I think, 3 at least.
When his kids and wife disappeared, it was over. Yeah. I was just like,
yeah.
Shit.
No Way Home, there were some tearjerker moments there.
Yeah.
Infinity War, tearjerker moments there. And I don't know what it was, but actually, no, Guardians 1 and 2, tearjerker scenes in those movies. But yeah, I mean, those are, a bunch of movies right there that have emotional scenes that brought something out of me. I think the only other non-Marvel movie that has made me tear up in the last year, maybe the Adam Project, maybe.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was solid.
That was, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head where I had to like conceal tears. And Just be like, I'm in either in a public theater or I'm on a plane, and like I got to hold this shit together.
I'm trying to think, but I'm coming up pretty empty.
Yeah. So this one is someone they
Wait,
really slated to die.
Samaritan made me cry.
Yeah.
It was
tears
so
of joy.
So
I was crying tears of laughter on the podcast. So that was a fun episode.
Oh God.
But yeah, so someone's slated to die.
So do you think it's going to be one person or multiple people?
I think it might be multiple.
Okay.
I think it might be multiple.
Do they do the fireworks funeral for them?
That's a good question, because are they Ravagers or are they just Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, in their uniforms, they're
Yeah.
dressed like Ravagers.
Yeah. I don't know if you get that.
Does Stallone show up?
If you watched one of the trailers.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't
Maybe
doing anything. They didn't put him in Creed 3, so.
He is really good friends with James Gunn. So if you're friends with James Gunn, you should probably expect to be in his movies, because he just brings in everybody. He's catching some shit for having his wife in the DCU, because she she survived the old regime and now she's in the new DCU. But yeah,
I'm excited for Cosmo, and I'm hoping we get some Howard the Duck a little bit, a little something
maybe.
But any cameos that you want as opposed to don't want?
I think there needs to be a Thor cameo just to tie up that loose end somehow. And
is it a Love and Thunder cameo, or is it just Thor?
I want to see like a legitimate Thor cameo, whether it's while he's still Fat Thor and still like just kicking ass with the Guardians, or something. I don't want it just to be like a cutaway of him in the little Ravager red vest holding up Stormbreaker. I want to see like some interaction with them. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we shall see.
I don't know.
But that's what I want to see. Anything that you want to see?
I want to see a character that, and James Gunn's done this every movie. I want to see somebody that I don't expect to see. Right? The first one, we got the Collector and that whole situation, which was awesome. Right? We knew Adam Warlock was going to be part of this because they totally gave it to you 100% in the last movie. It took longer for that butterfly to hatch, apparently. So I know that I know that Cosmo is going to be in this movie, but they gave us Cosmo already in another movie. I want to see like something out there, right? And the Guardians in the comics definitely did a decent amount of crossing over, so shouldn't be that big of a deal to get some other folks in. But I don't think you'll get like anybody that they want to put into the next phase. Don't expect mutants. Don't expect the Fantastic Four. Don't expect any of that. It's got to be some obscure space character. Which brings to mind a few, but not any that are like crazy amazing.
This isn't going to happen, and this will be my last prediction for the evening before we call it a wrap. But it would be so awesome if Corsair, Scott Summers' dad, is in this movie as a cameo, because the Guardians just happen to run into the Starjammers. That would be kind of sweet.
But isn't he a mutant?
He's a human that's just a space pirate now. So he's the legitimate space pirate. So Thor, they dubbed him the space pirate. Well, Corsair, Scott Summers' dad, is the true space pirate that just goes around the galaxy and just taking ass, kissing names.
Do
just
they?
stuff like
I
that.
wonder if. I wonder if he's technically. Well, no, they bought Fox.
Yeah, it's all fair game.
Yeah.
That was either like, I think that's stretching it, but who knows? Maybe you'll see a dude on a silver surfboard kind of just going around the galaxy in the background somewhere. That'll be
Yeah.
more of a realistic cameo than anything.
I mean, I think more realistic is to get Captain Marvel in it, but who knows? Geez, that's interesting. I wonder. Well, you're not going to get Hulk back out. I wonder if you get Nova in the Nova suit. Like that one makes the most sense to me.
Could be.
Maybe
Could
you get
be.
some Beta Ray Bill. That
Yeah, but he either got killed by the Hulk or or just got his ass whooped really bad, because he used to be one of the champions for the Grandmaster, which, by the way, he would be another awesome cameo, but
Yeah, agreed.
yeah, not gonna happen. Not gonna
Yeah, no,
happen.
I think I'd love to see some Nova. I've been trying to get some Beta Ray Bill love, but I don't think they're going to give us that. I think it's so weird, but he is a Thor character technically.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you're ever going to see that, but just seeing, what else is out there.
So before we see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what is your current ranking for the Guardians movies right now?
Oh, 1, 2, Christmas, direct order. Christmas just doesn't have enough to beat 2. 2 is not super high on any list for me. I know the ego thing is like dead from the comics. I just something about it, like, I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't love it a lot. It's always been a weird thing for me, but I liked the connection of it, like, but it just wasn't the first one. What about you?
2, 1, Christmas.
Really?
2, just, it's so stacked, and you have so many storylines and kind of subplots that are happening, and it's all handled very well. That's the thing I like about that movie.
It wasn't because they used the same opening as the first Charlie's Angels movie with Drew Barrymore and
Never saw it.
Oh
Never
man,
saw it.
they also started with the Brandy song, but Tom Green sang it, which made it hilarious.
I wonder if that's the reason why James Gunn did it. I was like, I'm gonna get justice for this song instead of Tom Green bastardizing it.
It's been used multiple other times. Like, don't worry about that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we got our pre-ranking. Where do you think that Guardians 3 is going to land on your list?
I hope it's better than 2. I don't think it's possible to be better than 1. 1 was just tight. It's tight. Unless there's a dance off in this movie.
That might be the reason why I didn't like 1.
Oh, the dance off?
Yeah. But no, it was, I loved that movie.
You.
It's a very good movie.
So good.
But I think it's going to be bigger and better than the others. So I think it'll be the top.
I hope it is. I hope you're right. I would love that. But I am, what is the word? Realistic.
Well, we've got a few more days until we find out. You, the listeners, will have another week until you hear our opinions on the new Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. But until then, I'm Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Like, subscribe, and tell us how wrong or right we are. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts.
Hit us up on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll see you next time.